Hello everyone, I'm Beth Golden. Welcome back to my channel. And today I wanted to share with you 5 mediums that you can use on a gel press plate. Now, a lot of people think that you can use paint, which is correct. And we're not going to use paint today. We're going to use a couple different things. First of all, I'm showing you some things that I'm going to use to create some texture that I literally got out of my trash. And I'm sure that you probably can find similar items. However, if you want to buy items to use, I highly recommend these texture tools. And these have some fun edging on them. You just want to be careful that you don't plow them into the gel press and damage your press, but they're really great for everything else. And then you want to have a brayer or two. I like these 2 sizes depending on what I'm doing. And I'm just going to be doing my pulls today on copy paper and using them as card fronts. So the first kind of medium you can use is just ink. And I'm going to do the first 2 are 2 different types of ink. They're actually both dye ink, but they come on different foams, which really sets them off. And you're going to see how they pull. That's what it's called when you pull a gel press and you have the print. It's a pull. You're going to see how they differ. So this one is one of my favorites, which is Catherine Puller. I love her bright colors. And I'm just going to put in use some texture to create some depth on my gel press. And it doesn't look like there's any ink down there, which always is a little bit nerve-wracking. And then I'm just placing my paper down using a piece of scrap paper to make sure that I don't get ink everywhere. And I like to clean off my brayer on the back of the paper, and then voila, check that out. So that's my first pull with a dye ink, the Catherine Puller. And then I wanted to show you the second medium, which is actually Simon Hurley. This is my favorite ink to blend. I love the blendability on it. This is a different type of pad, so it lays a little bit different. And it's important to use a brayer whenever you're using direct ink pad onto your gel press, just because the brayer will smooth out all of those lines that you may have. So I'm going to go over and I'm just going to brayer that through a couple times. Again, add some texture with my cardboard. And then I'm going to use the texture tool, making sure I don't poke it directly into the plate and damage, but run it on its side. And then my little mini solo cup. And once again, I'm just going to lay down that scratch piece of paper, clean off the back of my brayer, and give this a nice rub down and give it a pull. And let's see what we got. So that's the second one. And do you notice how some of the colors from the first one transferred over on the little solo cup? That is so cool. It's part of my favorite thing. Now, a lot of people don't know that they can actually use different types of paste. This is Simon Hurley's Lunar paste, and I'm using complementary colors because I am going to have to blend this a little bit to get it to smooth out. So I need to make sure that the colors that I'm using do complement each other. And I'm using my small brayer every time I put a color onto my gel press. And the gel press that I'm using is a 5x7. I just thought it was a nice size with those card fronts that I do have cut down to 4.25 by 5.5. Everything I'm using can be found down below in the description box. So just make sure that you go and check that out if you're interested in any of this. And so once again, I'm just going to finish this off. I have a little bit too much texture paste down right now. I'm noticing that. So that's why I'm rubbing it off on the other side. But I just really am getting it to my liking without blending it too much. And then I'm just going to pop in that cardboard. And my texture that I use really shows up nicely on this because it is a thicker type medium. And I love to do the transfer of the ink and things on my my tools. So I don't always clean the tools that I'm using because the ink from the previous ones, I think, just gives it a whole bunch of personality, makes it really unique. So that's why I like to keep things a little bit messy from time to time. And then this one is just going to be a shiny, beautiful background. Isn't that gorgeous? Make sure you stick around to the end of the video where I show you samples of how I use all of these backgrounds. Alcohol ink is actually one of my very favorite things to use on a gel press. You just go ahead and just squirt it on. You could even use a stencil over that to just give it even more interest. But for this, I'm just doing a direct application. I contemplated cleaning my gel press before laying out the color. However, I thought it would be really awesome if I could lift some of that color up with the alcohol ink. So I left my plate dirty. But don't worry, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can clean your plate if you want to do that between pulls, depending on what you're using and what look you're going for. And then from here, I just smoosh out that ink and I layer on and layer on until I get it to my liking. Now, it's super important that you let the ink dry before going on and trying to attempt your pull. So I let it dry off camera and I'll come back and you'll see how you actually pull this alcohol ink up. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, I certainly hope that you consider doing so if you enjoy videos like this that show you different types of paper crafting techniques. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any social media groups that you're part of that are art related, go ahead and share this video. I would so appreciate it, and just help spread it around, and maybe it'll help someone who is a little bit scared to use a gel press. From here, you're just going to add some white paint, a very, very thin layer. You kind of want to see through it, and that is what is actually going to do your pull. And I'm just taking and brayering off that excess paint, and then once again, I'm just laying this down, making sure I have a very nice seal there. And then I'm just going to brayer out on my scratch piece of paper, and look at this. And this is how you can get all of your alcohol ink up. How cool is that? It's gorgeous. Wait until you see what I do with that card. All right, so the next one is using Distress Oxides. I really love to use these on my gel press plate. Once again, I'm just going to smoosh it out directly. And I do have all these listed down below, so if you're interested, make sure you check it out. I know I said that before, but I do have it listed down below again. So I'm just smooshing it out, and then I'm going to use my brayer. And I actually do 2 pulls off of this instead of 1, because in this particular pull, you're going to notice that I blended the colors together a little bit too much, and I didn't want to do that. So I go back and do another pull in which I don't blend those colors all the way through, because I wanted there to be a definite distinction. This pull still is pretty because I'm using colors in the same color family, so I don't get brown or anything, and it is fun, but it kind of looks like just one color. So I want there to be a variant. So I'm going to go back through, do this pull once again, and get a little bit more of the variance in my colors when I do this last pull. And if you notice, I'm going right over my dirty plate. I contemplated cleaning it between, but then I thought, no, I really like a dirty plate. I love a dirty plate. I usually store them dirty. It just makes for some very interesting pulls each time I use it. So now we're just going to go in, and I'm going to brayer off that back once again and do this lift, which ends up giving me a little bit more variation. And you can see how I stamped off and got a little bit of that ink on my bubble wrap. To clean your plate, you just want to take a little bit of instant hand sanitizer, rub it all in, and especially over the areas that are like crusted and super dirty, and then just take a paper towel or lint-free towel and wipe it away, and boom, now you have a perfectly clean plate that is ready for next time. And here are the finished cards that I did with those backgrounds. I used a stamp from Sassy and Crafty and just added some glitter to the hair and called it good. I so hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it gave you some ideas on different types of mediums you can use on your gel press. Sky is the limit, you guys. I say try everything you want to try. If it's a mist, you can go ahead and put a gel medium down first and then mist it. If you want to see that type of video, tell me in the comments and I'll show you that video. I'll do a video on how you can use your glossy sprays and mists on your gel press. But if you want to try it, go for it. Like, throw it on the gel press and just see what happens. You're not going to damage it. If you puncture the gel press by mistake, all you got to do is flip it over and use the other side, because it is two-sided. So I know a lot of people are super scared of them, but there's nothing to be scared of. It's a great tool to use and have in your craft room.